Hello everyone and welcome. Since I began this tutorial series about a year and a half ago, I can no longer watch sporting events or television the way that I used to. I'm always watching a sporting event, looking at the graphics, and I'm wondering if it's something that I can recreate in vMix using vMix GT Title Designer and vMix UTC. Today's tutorial is going to explain how I accomplish that using just GT Title Designer and vMix UTC. So just to look at the graphic here, I'm going to just kind of go over the outlay of the graphic. Right here on the bottom, as you can see, there's a ticker that runs across the screen. This is just going to repeat information over and over. I have it set up on loop, so it's just going to keep cycling through the information that I typed in. The second thing here is kind of a field for discussion questions, and I have a toggle. I'll go ahead and toggle through some of the different captions. We've already gone through the welcome, and then right now we're doing the introduction, and then we're going to go over the graphic layout, and that graphic layout is accomplished in GT Title Designer. After we look at the layout in GT Title Designer, then we're going to go to vMix UTC. And then in vMix UTC, the last thing we're going to do after we accomplish the initial setup is we're going to do some automation so that we can have those different elements cycle through the way they did in the opening. So let's go to the graphic layout. Okay, this is GT Title Designer, and this is what the graphic looks like that we created in GT Title Designer. Okay, the first thing that we did to get started is I went over here to where it says, where you see this little rectangle here, and I clicked on the rectangle, and then I came over and I just made me out a rectangle like this. You can just grab it anywhere and move it like that, or what I generally do is I'll click on the title bar, and then I use my arrow keys to adjust things. So it's very easy to move things left to right and up and down. So all I did is I moved this rectangle over to the far right edge of the safe zone, and that is going to be the background for all the different topics that we're going to do for this particular setup. So I'm just using my arrow keys to position it where I want it, and that's all we did for the background. There are 7 of them, and what I did for the topics is I actually brought all those in as images. And the reason I brought them in as images, and let's see if I can find these, because I did this quite a while ago. Here we go. I have a red image, and then I also have a yellow image. Okay, so the area that we're currently working on over in GT Title Designer is this area right here. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going to show you how we go about making these red backgrounds and these yellow backgrounds. And this isn't as magical as you might think it is. The automation that causes these backgrounds to change color and these text colors to change color, it's actually a lot simpler than you think. One of the things is, and the way that the color changes on the background is I basically just have one color over top of the other. So to start off with, I have the red background, and then when we're highlighting that topic or we're currently talking about that topic, we want the yellow background to come in. And so what I do is I turn the red background off and I turn the yellow background on. And you'll also notice that when it goes down the list, and I'll go ahead and set it in motion again, you'll notice when it goes down the list, the font color changes from white to black while it's being highlighted. And then when it goes down to the next item, it changes that background back to red and the font color back to white. When we're discussing that topic, we have the yellow background and we have the black font. So you saw where that one went from yellow and black to red and white. And now this current one that we're talking about is yellow and black. All I did was for each one of the topics here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All I did for each one of those topics is I have a background. I have a background that's red and a background that's yellow. The designation that we have here is background RT1, and that's background red for topic 1. So let's go ahead and turn that on. And you can see up here at the top that red background comes in. And then if I hit background YT1, that's background yellow title or topic 1. And I click on that, and you can see that it changes from red to yellow. Well, it's really not changing from red to yellow. All that's happening is the yellow is coming on top of the red. Okay. The next thing that we did is we came over here with this ABC, and we created a text box. And we just centered that in here. We just centered it over top of the background rectangle. And then we're going to center it in the middle up and down, and in the middle left to right. And I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and we're going to click shrink. And that way, if we have a long topic with a long phrase or a long topic, it's going to stay in this text field that we made and not spill out past the boundaries of this background. So you can see right there that one's black. That's text block 1, and that's black. So all I did, we're going to right click, copy, right click, and paste. And you can see where text block 1 turned to text block 2. Well, on text block 2, let's go ahead and change the fill color to white. So all we're really doing when this font is changing colors, we have a duplicate text for each one of the topics inside this box. We have one that's with a white text, and we have one that's with a black text. So all we're doing, okay, so the second text color just in this demonstration is going to be red. Now, I can't use white here in the demonstration because it's not going to show up very well. So when we want to change that, we're basically just turning one of the texts on and off. So if I click on this button here to hide it, you'll see where that text turns from red to blue. Now, one thing that we do have to do on each one of these text blocks, we have to go up to data, and we have to click show visible toggle. And that's going to allow us to toggle these off and on. So once again, as we're going down this list, all we're doing is we're changing the background color from red to yellow and changing the font from white to black. So all I did is I went through here and I clicked on all the eyeballs here, and when the eyeball is showing, the particular element is visible in your graphic, and when the eyeball is not showing, that graphic will not be visible in your graphic. So on these last ones here, on all these ones with topic 7, I'll go ahead and click them off, and then I'll bring them back on. This one right here is the yellow background. I'll click that. This one's the red background. You can see where it comes over top of the yellow. Then I'm going to bring in the white text, and then I'll bring in the black text. The next thing we're going to do is this block right here, which is the sponsor background. So the background is right here. It says sponsor background. So let's turn that on. And how we made that is we went up to the rectangle. We clicked on this box. We made us a rectangle. We changed the background fill color to gray. And then we just sized it up to fit these other dimensions here. And then we just moved it over in place. And then for the sponsor logo, this element right here, we go up here to where this says image. We click on that. We find the image that we want, which was that one right there. I click open, and then I just grab a corner and shrink it down. And I keep doing that until I get the size that I want. And then I just bring it over here and position it. Okay, the next element we're going to bring in is this ticker background and the ticker. So let's go ahead and see how we did that. Here's the ticker background. And as you can guess, we just went up here to the rectangle. We pulled us out a rectangle like so. And then we just put a background color in it to make it a little bit different from what our this lower third area right here is going to be. So we made the color just a little bit different from this, just so that it'll stand out. And then what we did is we brought in our ticker. So if you click right here, this ABC box, we can bring a ticker in. And we're going to bring that in right here. And you can see as you bring that in, the text starts rolling across. We centered it in the middle, up and down. So let's go ahead and get rid of those two items. And then we'll go ahead and turn the ticker on. And you can see that the text is sliding across the screen there. So the next thing we're going to turn on is the question block, which is this area right here. And the way that we did this block right here is the way that we've done the other ones. We just go up and click the rectangle. We draw us out a rectangle of this dimension. Then we would click on the title. Then we would click on the title bar, and then we would just use the arrow keys to put it in position. And this right here is the text for that. It's called the question block, and that is how we're going to bring our different questions into the graphic. The next part of the graphic is this right here, and this is where we'll bring in different other images and things that we want to use during the particular production. And this right here, I believe it's called the main image, so let's go ahead and turn that on. So let's click on main image, and it brings in this. This is actually a promotional graphic that we use for GE fights, and that brings that in, and we're going to be able to change this on the fly utilizing vMix UTC in just a minute. Okay, this is where the timer clock is going to be, and I made that background just a little bit different color just to help it stand out from the other elements in the graphic. And this is the background for the camera right here. The only other item that we have not activated is this item right here, the one that says rundown. Okay, and that's on this last layer here, layer 3. Let's go ahead and turn that on. And that is how we compose the graphic. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move over to vMix UTC, and we're going to take a look at how we created the layout. And it looks a little bit busy, but it's really not that bad. What I had to do for each one of the topics we have in the graphic, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What I had to do is I had to make a timer for each one of the topics. And you can see over here to the side, I have rundown clock, topic, timer, topic 1, topic 2, let's do this, topic 3, topic 4, topic 5, topic 6, and topic 7. So I had to create a clock for each one of the timers. Now, on each one of the timers, I also had to put in some automation. I clicked start, pause, and stop. And so for the first timer, it's start timer 1, pause timer 1, and reset timer 1. And what I do is I come here and I mapped it to this particular graphic right here. And these are all the different title elements within that graphic. And I want to make sure that it's mapped to the clock portion of it. Under format, we're just doing minutes and seconds. So that format is minute / seconds, seconds. And then on completion, I put another script in here that I want run. On completion, what I want to happen is start topic 2. So let's go over here under topic 2. This is topic 2. So under topic 2, I had to check the execute, start topic 2, and this is all the script that's going to be run under topic 2. Each one of these, and there's 7 of them, each one of these is just a button widget. So I click on widget, right here where it says button, I click on that, I come over here to an open space, and then what I would do for this particular one, since we're going to redo this one, I would type in topic 2 start. So I'd just type in topic 2 start right there. I would come down and I would click this one here that says execute, and then I would type in here start topic 2. And then I would click this script button a whole bunch of times, and let's see how many pieces of script we actually have in here. It always starts off at 0 and then it starts numbering. So I actually had to click it 8 times. So I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And what that does is it brings in all these different little blocks where we're going to be able to put the script in. So all we're really going to be utilizing while we're doing this is basically one command, and that's going to be set visible on or set visible off. We're going to use the same graphic each time. We're going to have to go to the title index here to turn the different elements off and on. The other command that we're going to use is an execute link, and that execute link is going to start the timer. And you saw over here, this one here says start timer 2. So let's go over here. So let's go over here to timer 2, and we have the checkbox checked, and we have start timer 2. And when we start timer 2, it's going to start the clock that we have set up here. On the particular show, I think they have these probably set up at 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that. Just for demonstration purposes, I set the default time for each one of these to 10 seconds. But it's very easy to change. So after this topic would run through, after the timer would run through that we have set for this particular clock topic, then at the very end on completion, so when it gets to 0, it would start topic 3. But let's go back to topic 2. So basically all we're doing is we're turning different things on and different things off. So we're setting visible off on image 14, which is the yellow background for topic 1. And then we're setting visible on for index 15, which is the red background. So as you remember, when this thing starts, the background is red, but as it starts to move through these topics, it changes the background to yellow and then changes the color of the text to black. Okay, so we're going to look at the Start Topic 2 button, and we have 8 commands that we're going to run here, and the majority of them are either set X visible off or set X visible on, and that's going to be turning the backgrounds off and on and turning the text colors off and on. The other command we're going to run is an execute link, and that's going to be to start the individual timers. Here's timer 2 right here. Let's look at that. You can see where we checked start, we checked the box under next to start, and then in here the link is start timer 2. So on this particular button, what we're going to do first is we're going to get topic 1 back to the way that it started. Topic 1, we want it to, when each one of these topics start, there is a red background color and a white text. So let's go back to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to set X visible off for image 14, and we're going to set X visible on for image 15. Image 14 is source and image are used synonymously. Image 14, or text index 14, is the yellow background. So we're going to turn the yellow background off, and we're going to turn 15, we're going to make that visible, and we're going to turn that on, and that's the red background. So we're going to turn the red background on. The next 2 things we're going to do is we're going to set X visible off on index item 16, and it's a text index. So let's go look and see what 16 is. 16 is black, so we're going to turn set X visible off on text 16, which is black, so we're going to turn the black text off, and we're going to turn visible on 17, which is text, and that's the white text. So we're just putting the topic back to the way that it initially was before the timers started. Then we're going to execute this link, which is start timer 2. We saw where that came from right over here. And then what we're going to do is, since we're on item 2 now, we want to change that background color to yellow from red, and we want to change the text to black from white. So right here, we are going to set X visible off for 12 and set visible on for 13, and those are both images. So we're going to turn 12 off, the image. We're going to turn the red off. We're going to turn the yellow on, which is what should happen when that topic is the one being discussed. And then the next two things, we're going to set visible off for text index 15 and set visible on for text index 14. Let's look and see what those are. Text index 15 is the white, and we should turn that off. Text index 14 is black, and we should turn that on, because when we're talking about that particular topic, the background color should be yellow and the text should be black. So that is all we are doing for each one of these, and I'm going to go through these other ones a little bit quicker. On topic 3, all we're doing at this first part is we're setting topic 2 back to what it should be. So that means we're changing the background color to red from yellow, and we're changing the text from black to white, and that's what these 4 are doing. Then we're executing a link, which is start timer 3. Start timer 3 is right here, which is start timer 3. Start timer 3 is right here. We're going to run that timer, and when that timer runs out, then we're going to start topic 4. And that's all we're doing. Back and forth, we're starting the topic, which starts the timer. The timer's going to run. After the timer runs, then we're going to execute another link, and we're going to start another topic. So that's all we're doing, is we're going back and forth between these topics and these timers. Now, the first timer was a little bit different. Since this was the first one, on the first topic, we only have 4 commands that we have to run, and all we're doing is getting things started. So we're gonna, actually there's 5 commands we need to run. The first thing we're doing is we're starting timer 1, and then we are changing the background color from red to yellow, and we're changing the text color from white to black. That's just to get things started. And then you saw in here where it said start timer. So what we did on this very first one, and I know I'm circling back, we started timer 1, and at the end of timer 1, then it starts topic 2. And topic 2 is the one that we we started off with in quite a bit of detail. So then this was 3, 4 right here. In 4, what we're going to do is we're turning 3 back to the way that it was supposed to be, and let's see if that's indeed what's going on. Image 11, you can see right here where it says topic 3. So all we're doing is we're putting topic 3 back the way that it was to begin with. So 10 and 11 is right here, and then on the text is 12 and 13. So let's look at text 12 and 13. Text 12 and 13 is indeed topic 3. So we're changing the text. We're setting visible off on 12, which is the black text, and we're turning text visible on for 13, which is white. Now this last thing here where it says reset, as you can see, when this timer runs itself all the way through, it ends up right here with the background being yellow and the text on topic 7 being black. So we have to set that back to the way that it originally was when we run this again. So what this does is on this button right here, there's only 4 pieces of information. And all we're trying to do is reset things back to the way that they originally were. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to, on topic 7, we're trying to make the background red and the text white. So let's see what this is. This is set visible off for image 3. Image 3 is the background, so we're setting the yellow image off, and we're setting visible on for image 2, and image 2 is the red background for topic 7, so we're turning the red on. These last 2 pieces of data, we're setting X visible off for text 4. Text 4 is the black text, so we're turning the black text off, and then we're turning visible on text 5, and text 5 is the white text. So all we're doing is we're getting it set back up the way that it was. Okay, I have some other things set up here, and I'm going to go ahead and just talk about them first, and then I'm going to show you how we did them. Right here where it says vMix UTC, it is actually a list widget that I have set up, and we're just going to toggle through some things. We'll go back to welcome. We'll go back to introduction. We'll go back to vMix UTC. And what we've been talking about the last 10 minutes was actually automation. So I'll show you how we did that. That is right here. And what I did is I brought it in as a list widget. So I just went up here under widget. I clicked on list. And I made me a list widget. I just entitled it discussion topics. So I just typed in discussion topics right here. And then what I did is I title mapped it. The input is this graphic right here. And then the block that it actually goes to is the one that says question block. And then what I did is I pressed this button about 8 times. That's how I brought in the different topics. Or not the different topics, but the different discussion points that I wanted to outline. So you can see when I clicked OK, it brought in automation because it was already populated here, and all we did was duplicate this widget from this right here. So that was a list widget. Okay, this right here is a live text field. So if I want to put something in there during the broadcast that I didn't have pre-populated through my list widget, I can put it in right here. These are both mapped to the exact same field. So let's just do this. Go back to welcome, and I'm going to bring the graphic back in. And what I was just showing you is I'm just going to highlight in here, and I'm going to type, and you can see how that comes right in there. I didn't have that in the drop-down menu, but you can see how it comes right in there. If I click the drop-down menu and select one of the elements that I already have in there, it's going to change it back. So that's just a way right here that we can change, right here, where we can change the text on the fly. This right here is the sponsor logo, and let's bring this back in. Here's the sponsor logo, and I'll just go ahead and change that. And you can see where that logo changed to CrossFit. And that way, if during your production you have different sponsors for different portions of your production, you can change that, change the sponsor logo right there. Okay, the last thing that I need to show you is the ticker. And what I did is I came up here under widget and I clicked on text field. And then what I did is I mapped it to the graphic. And then I mapped it to the portion of the graphic that says ticker. And I clicked OK. And you can see as soon as I did that, everything that I had up here in this graphic came in here. So whatever I put in here is going to be displayed in the ticker. Now there's also another way that you can do that, and that is through the title editor. So let's go ahead and bring this in. And I'll bring this graphic in. I'm going to click on title editor, and it brings in the title editor. And if you go up here under ticker, you can see all that text that's in there. So you can copy and paste the text in here, and it will work just fine. Or you can put the text in this field right here, and it works just fine. Either way will work out for you. Now these are the particular topics right here. You see where it says Clark, Reese, World Cup, NIL, Masters, NBA, and NAB 2023, which is really cool. If you haven't had a chance to go to NAB, it's in Las Vegas. I'll be leaving next week on Monday, very early in the morning on Monday, and I'll be there from Monday through Thursday. We went to it pre-COVID. It was fascinating. It's all the latest and greatest new devices and technology that's coming out in the broadcast field. So me and my business partner, Matt McCarthy, we're going to go there and spend 4 days. And I may have some reports on the reports from the road while I'm there. And this is where those topics come from. They come. These are text fields, text field widgets. And what I do is I have to bring this in twice. And the reason I have to bring this in twice is because we want to make sure this populates in the white text field and in the black text field. So I have to bring this in twice for each one of these. So like this first one, where it says Clark, let's make this one say, we'll just change that to PGA. And then we'll go back to this graphic here, and you can see where it says now, where it used to say Clark, it says PGA. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and I'm just going to take it back to Clark. So let's go ahead and put it in motion one more time. I hope this wasn't too confusing for you. It's actually very straightforward. All we're doing is we're turning the background colors off and on, and we're turning the text colors off and on. That is the most difficult part of this whole thing and doing the automation. We also had a little bit of automation there on the timers, and we also had a little bit of automation there on each one of the topics to get things going. All right, make sure you do stop by the website, onemanstream.com. I have all of the past tutorials up there now. I've been sending people there for months and did not realize that the older tutorials were not showing up. Remedied that problem. I also have something pretty cool. I have a one-man stream mouse pads that I had made. I'm going to put those up on the website, and if anybody's interested in kind of supporting what we're doing here and you'd like a one-man stream mouse pad, I'm going to go ahead and put those up in the merchandise shop on the website, and I'll be selling those shortly. I also have some with me at NAB. So if you see me at NAB, come up to me, introduce yourself, and I'll have a mouse pad for you. Thanks so much. If you're enjoying what we're doing here, please give us a thumbs up and a like. Make sure you do subscribe so that you'll be alerted as soon as new videos are posted. And as always, thank you so much.